chat, so we could chill for a little bit. It's not live on my tablet yet. I told you what, Godbody. I didn't tell you a thing, sir. Oh, there we go. Without you, I'm nothing. Do you love me that much? One of my buddy, he does. I don't know if you can see the chat from what you're looking at.
Yeah, I just clicked on it.
Okay, he does fitness and religion together. What his was about.
Those go pretty well together. Sports and religion, athletics and religion, they're pretty good.
I think it can work. I don't want to marry you, my guy. That I do not. We still got 3. See, I messed up because when I turned it on earlier, I don't know why I was thinking it was 8 already. A bunch of people started jumping in. I was like, crap. So man, might not get as many from the beginning, but they'll start trickling in like they normally do. I usually wait till about 5 people or give it about a good 5, maybe 7 minutes.
Oh, you're good, man. I'll try and keep it under an hour.
Whatever you want to do, man. Like I said, sure people will start asking questions.
Yeah,
I think I saw Glossy in another chat for a little bit, GB. I'm sure she'll be here. Don't harass her. But I forgot what we were saying before I press live.
I mean, we're kind of all over the place, just hitting it off, man.
Yeah, Godbody. Chris is a vet. He will explain all that once we get started, sir. He will drop it on you. And Godbody says salute, Chris. We'll talk about how we met, where we met. He is definitely a vet too.
Met on June 28th. I think I was bad luck for Larry.
Nah, I think that day was bad luck.
Yeah, there was a lot of guys looking around and be like, "That's the new guy," so we're gonna blame him.
Come on, I know I messed up earlier. Where you guys at?
I did not go back out with second after that.
You did? Your choice or their choice?
Kind of a mix. Kind of a mix. I was like, man, those are some hard asses, but Jesus Christ, that was rough.
Wait, hold up. There was people like legitimately bothering you about it? Like if you
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, hold up, man.
It was definitely jokes.
Okay.
It was definitely jokes. There was I think there was some operational stuff after that that there was a little bit of fallout there, but that I was a part of, which is interesting. We can talk offline for that stuff, but I think we already chatted about that stuff with like some of the higher ups.
Oh yeah.
So
I do remember you mentioning it. Mimi left out real quick. She'll be back, Patricia. We'll probably get started in a little bit here. It's about 4 minutes. We'll get started at about 5. Unless we get 5 people before then.
Yeah, I gotta send you this stuff too, by the way. So when we get off, I'll get your address. I'll make sure I get this stuff to you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Patricia, if you wouldn't mind letting our friend know that I'm live right now, I just got a call. Oh, I'll be back too. Okay. Hey, Batty. Thank you for coming back, Batty. My bad earlier. And I didn't see Vibes earlier. I don't know if I can't see her or if I didn't see her, but I don't think neither of us has each other blocked. But I didn't see her. So if anyone I guess is speaking to us, and if I don't see it, Please point it out to me, y'all. All right. Well, I guess we're at 5:02. People will start trickling in. Yeah, Chris. I guess if you want to mind starting out, I guess just introducing yourself. Kind of a little bit of what you do today, and then I guess we can roll into how we met and then everything from that day.
Yeah,
It's all
man.
good, honey.
Yeah. So I joined the Marine Corps, and much like many people in 2007, you know, bounced around the Marine Corps and then deployed with Larry, um, and in 2011, where we went to Afghanistan together. And I was actually a combat camera guy. So I was a photographer, if you will. Before the question comes out, yes, I had a weapon.
I was say deadly
That
photographer.
one always comes out. Like, did you bring a gun? Yes, I had a gun.
Gun and a camera.
And a camera. My main mission, I always tell people is like my main mission was to tell your guy's story. I was blessed to be honest with you, pretty secure in doing my duties as a photographer, and telling the story of guys on the front lines. And obviously Larry being included in that. And so the main mission of Combat Camera was to document combat, and tell the story of the Marine Corps. And to be honest with you, to this day, I still do it. So, me and Larry were talking about that before. I'm now a college coach. I coach in college athletics. So after I got out of the Marine Corps, I played college lacrosse at St. Louis University, Division II. And Larry actually came out and spoke to the team. And it was the first time that I had seen him since I, helped put him on the helicopter. So there was a lot of stories that me and Larry could probably tell you. But they all kind of connected by that day of June 28th, 2011. So
I got tatted on my fingers, y'all, if y'all ever wondered.
So, but yeah. And I would say, Larry wanted me on to kind of tell the story from a different perspective. I'm sure everybody in the chat really knows Larry's story. I was attached to his unit, his squad in particular. And I got to document what they were doing that day, where I was blown up not once, but twice.
Before I got blown up, there was a total of 2 IEDs that went off. Before that, there was one right behind me. I think that's the one that you were in. And then there was one right in front of me. I should have known. I was like, I'm probably my day. I don't know.
Well, that's the crazy part is like, even before that, we got blown up one time before that. We had a medevac for, I think it was like 3 or 4 guys. And I was part of that explosion. I was taking pictures of the IED before it exploded. And so I got blown up, continued on the mission, and then got blown up again. And to be honest with you, man, like I really think about like the inches in life, is like crazy. Like if I was just a half a second faster, where would I be? Would I be alive?
Right.
Would I have only sustained the injuries that I sustained? I think about that a lot. It's like, man, like life's pretty fragile, so, it's pretty crazy. And so, I actually, whenever I tell the story, I always tell a story about how I took a photo of you in Ainsworth on top of a building, and I never remember taking that photo because literally like maybe 2 to 3 seconds later, the first ID had gone off and blown me into a wall.
You gotta send that to me.
Yeah, I got it on a hard drive here somewhere. every June 28th, I'll pull that photo up. But I think it might actually be the last time you had your legs in your hand, man.
Yeah,
in seconds before that happened. And it was you and Ainsworth standing on top of the building where you guys were doing security. So, but it's funny. I was going through that. I get back to HQ and I'm going through all the photos, sending them everywhere, right? And I saw that photo and I was like, holy shit! Like, that's the one. Like, that is the one photo that I don't remember taking this photo, and it might have been half a second before all of that crazy stuff happened. So.
Right. Right. Appreciate it, ladies. I guess for the more detailed parts of it, I don't know, man. You want to start from that morning, or you want to start from taking over that compound?
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, again, my mission was to document stuff, so I would get attached to different platoons and different squads and take photos of the different exercises and patrols. So like I do maybe 1 or 2 patrols a day, you know, and sometimes they saw stuff. Sometimes that wasn't the first time you or I had seen combat by that point.
Right.
You know, so I think we were pretty salty by then. We're pretty fed up with it by that point. You know, and
5-second engagements and then they take off and don't want to fight. Yeah, no, it'll piss me off every time.
Hey, we see a guy, can't do anything about it. All right. Just watch him. Like, okay, cool. So we basically, I got attached to you guys I think the night before, went through operations with headquarters. I had just made corporal, I believe, at that point too.
Mm-hmm.
And got attached to your squad, your machine gun squad.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the first day I ever met you guys. You, Ainsworth, and I forget
me, Ashworth, the other dude that was in the end of the photo, Sweet, the one that got lucky and got shot perfectly through the cheeks.
Yes.
Sweet. Marino was with a different fire team, but a part of the same squad.
Yep, I remember Marino.
And Organo.
Yeah.
In Applegate. That was the last guy.
Applegate. So I was with you 3, I think, that entire day. We go through, you know, the poppy fields have already been harvested and everything. So we're going through all that stuff.
Do you mind if I tell them about that right quick?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you were with us. Yeah. No, I don't know who dude was with. There was a dude there. He was geared up, looked overly geared up. He was wearing civilian clothes. And it's when poppy season started. And, you know, I'd talk to him every day until then. And then when that started, he's just walking down the street. And I was like, where's he going? They're like, he's here to collect a bunch of the poppy for the government. I was like, oh. Like, he's just walking up by himself? Like, I don't know what he was. He could have been any agency. He could have been CIA, who whatever you can imagine. He was probably with them, buying up the poppy to. If y'all don't know, poppy, the main thing that's made out of it is opium, but to buy up the poppy for the government. And not saying it's a bad thing.
And the government was trying to make a huge push for them to farm corn, and they didn't want to do it, right? Like, there's no money in corn, and so
right.
You know, they just kept pushing. I mean, there were so many CIA and FBI guys that I ran into that I had to go do stuff with. Like, you know, I remember distinctly working with Sergeant Raz to take photos about, like, people around the compound.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you know, it was really cool to be a part of some of the operational stuff. You know, as a combat photographer, you know, like, somebody else saw my value as something else. Like, hey, you're not just a guy that's going to take photos. I need you to get snipers and take a photo of this dude because he's a bad dude.
And really quick, y'all, if I can interrupt Chris for a split second. So again, you know, he let y'all know he was a combat cameraman and a photographer for the Marine Corps. But best believe, like, any patrol, pretty sure that Chris got his pictures. But anybody that was with us, it doesn't matter if they were an engineer, whatever. It's like so the saying is every Marine is a rifleman. So he definitely got down. If he was on a patrol and there was a firefight, you can definitely believe that Chris got down with everybody else.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I often said that you know, I had the best job in the Marine Corps. I got to do everybody's job and then take photos of it and tell stories. And I think, you know, like I see one comment of, combat photography, didn't know that existed. Any picture that is on the front lines has probably been done by a young U.S. Marine. And I think it's a very noble thing to do. Like I got lucky with that job. Like I had a good ASVAB score, but like I chose infantry first and somehow still got combat camera, which didn't happen in those days. And so, it's really neat. I had a mentor that was combat camera in the Navy, and I actually wasn't going to sign up for combat camera until he told me like, hey, you should take a look at this. Like, it's a pretty badass job. And I was like, oh, okay. I'll take a look at it. And I was like, and then everybody's like, hey, Marine is a Marine first. And, and so I think the unique piece of that was that whenever I had to like join a squad or anything like that, I had to reprove myself every single time.
Never thought about that. That could probably be annoying because everyone's like, okay, we're grunts. You're a photographer. Right. I never thought about that.
Who's this Pogas? and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be one of the dudes. Like, that's what I'm gonna do. And, that's why I was always like, hey, you need me to carry anything? I'll carry it. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I carry the ammo. I'll be the pack mule, you guys just make sure I'm still alive when I'm taking photos. and I think that was a really interesting part about that job is like, I always had to go out and prove myself because I knew that if I messed up, the next combat camera guy is going to have a hard time. Right. Like, I really thought about that, was like, okay, I want people to remember me and go, that was a badass dude that worked his ass off for us and then got photos of it and like, and told our story the correct way. And that way it made it harder for the next guy that would get that, get that opportunity. So, it was a really neat job. I got to do a lot of things, and, there was some, like we talked at, like you just kind of mentioned, like there's some guys that, know you're a photographer, get out of our way. And then there were some guys like, no, like the guy has had weapons training. He's here for the same thing that we're here for, let's give this guy an opportunity. And Staff Sergeant Lucas was a great example of that. That guy let me do anything. Like, he was like, hey, we got a patrol going. It's a small one. Do you want to go? Yeah, I want to go. Like, let's go. Do you want to carry this weapon? Hell yeah, I want to carry that weapon. Let's go.
Teddy, let him get into the story of that day before we ask a super whole bunch of kind of off the subject questions. But remember your question though, Teddy.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have a favorite photo, by the way. I have a lot of favorites. I still printed some of them and put them in my house. So,
okay.
I think, if we're going back to that day, like I want to emphasize, like, this is the first day that I had met Larry and anybody in second platoon. And so I'm sitting there like, oh man, I'm going out. It's early morning too, right? Like, it was an early morning one. We met 2 IEDs that day. The first one they found was a little yellow jug sitting in the mud. I went up to take photos of it, blew up right in her face. I remember looking at the dog handler, and he had a metal chunk sticking out of his head.
I remember that. And then didn't the other dude have like a piece of metal stuck in it? It was small, but like stuck in his neck.
Yeah. Nobody had any serious injuries, which was great. Like, I got up. That was the first time that I had ever been blown up, right? And so I remember leaning back, and like everything was kind of slow-mo. Like, it was just like, it was weird. It was like a movie, right? And I got up, and I remember like, oh, I got to take pictures. And so I started doing my job. I started documenting. One guy got mad at me. He's like, why are you just taking pictures? And I was like, he's getting medical attention. He's getting
what are you supposed to do?
That's my job here, is to tell the story, right? And I remember the first guy I turned and looked to. So like, I'm sitting on my pack and I'm holding my weapon, and I turn and look, and it's a dog handler, legit, like Burt Reynolds, hands like this. and he's on his side, and he has a metal chunk sticking out of his head. And he goes, "Hey, comic camera, take a picture of this." And I was just like, "This guy's nuts. He's crazy." And then we had to put him on a medevac. I never saw that guy again, probably for good reason. But yeah, so we, and then we got reinforced. I can't remember who we got reinforced by, because we got a medevac. They came in, they picked those guys up.
I think they dropped us off some MPs, and those are military police for anyone that doesn't know. They did deploy with us as well.
Right, and I think that was it was interesting to see I have a photo of you sleeping. Everybody passed out. The adrenaline had worn off. We took over a compound. It was pretty safe in there. We waited for the reinforcements, so we put guys on the towers, on the walls, and everybody passed out. And I was like, all right, I guess this is part of the story. I'll take pictures of this. And so I got a picture of you sleeping, mouth open and everything. But yeah, that was the first part of the day, so you kind of go into that and you kind of think that's it, right? There's a lot of chaos in that situation. We get to go take over the compound, and that's when it really kicked off. So
yeah, I think at that time, I think we're gonna end up switching rooms. My guys were gonna switch rooms, and then I went out to look. Remember, we had Ayers with us. Nobody listened to Ayers. He was just a fill-in because I had got NJP'd. Nobody listened to him anyways.
That was the guy. I was telling you about, Ayers.
I don't want to slander him too much, but they told me some things about him after I got blown up. I was like, oh, well, I guess it's not for everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
But remember, I was talking about us switching rooms, and we were looking around, and then we heard gunfire. And at that time, I don't think I didn't know, and I'm not sure. I don't think Chris knew that my buddy Goyette had got hit and killed. At that time, I didn't know. Yeah. And then, but the photo you were talking about earlier, I had ran to the rooftop with Ashworth because we're machine gunners, so it's like I don't know if I ever broke it down to y'all, but the main focus of the machine gunners in the Marine Corps is provide support fire or cover fire. It's like you can clearly see your target, and if you can light them up. But if not, most of the time, other than the first person or two that you might hit, they're gonna duck, and that's the whole point. Is for you to keep a high volume of fire on them, and to keep their heads down, so the riflemen can flank around them. And then yeah, we heard gunfire, ran up to the rooftop, firefight started, and then I'll let Chris take it from there. I don't want to take too much of his shine.
Yeah, man. I think that's a perfect setup, right? Like we went from room to room, securing the entire compound. We even searched for IEDs. Oddly enough, we found 2 of them, you and I. We searched for all the rooms. There was a squad put up outside of the wall, Goyette's squad.
Right, holding security, right?
Yep. Before we legit took over the compound, because remember the back was open to the river. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember the river. I remember us filling up our water bottles in the river, but
so the river, it was right on there, and so the rumor is that was like high officials,
the local Taliban commanders. Yeah,
that's what somebody said. Who knows if that's true? I don't know. It's like his vacation home or something. I don't know. So when that got hit outside, we decided to go to the wall. We sent other guys to the wall to the right. We went up on top of a hut that is attached to the wall. So basically how it was built was like this, and there's a room underneath and a stove here. And we used the stove to climb up on top of the roof, use the wall to shoot over. And I followed you guys. So you guys went first. You and Ashworth went up on the wall. and you climbed up the I guess it's an oven. I think, I don't know. I guess it's
Yeah,
like,
it was their little bread cooking where they
yeah,
cook
yeah, yeah,
flat
yeah.
bread.
Yeah, it's like a little pizza cooker, right?
Mhm.
You guys climbed up on that to get up there. And I think there was probably a pressure plate in the ceiling of that wall or in the ceiling of that building.
Yeah, I get that. That's what it was explained to me because I mean, I don't mean to interrupt, but honestly, when I woke up again on the plane and then the hospital, I was like, so what? Was there a RPG I didn't see coming? And then
Right.
finally, someone was like, no, I think it's ID. But anyways, go go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, and I followed you guys. I took the photo that I don't remember. You and Ashworth were on top of top of the building, and then I proceeded to follow you guys. And the next thing I remember, exactly the same thing that happened prior was like, oh, like, where am I? I have no idea where I'm at. I'm
Right.
on the ground. I had been blown into another wall. I don't know if there was a second ID behind me or one down there, or if it was yours was that big. No idea. But I think I probably lost consciousness for a couple seconds in there. So I don't remember much. And then the next thing I remember is you're sitting on the oven, and I think myself and your corpsman were the first two, yeah.
Mm.
And so we obviously started tourniqueting you right away. We pulled you into the building, so away from all the fire or anything like that. Ashworth.
I remember that because like I remember I was like, oh shit, these motherfuckers they're snatching me up. Like I gotta fight. Like they're trying to kidnap me. Not my booty hole, not today.
Well, that was a funny thing is the corpsman goes, "Hey, hold him down." I'm like, "This dude's bigger than me. Like, what are you talking about?" All right, I'll try and hold him down. So we try to, I think I tourniquet your right extremity, and then the corpsman took care of the rest, and I just kind of held you down.
See, and I'm sorry to
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I just want to say y'all definitely did a good job because again I didn't feel any pain until I was slick and thought I can finally feel whatever you call it, stuff that like football players get.
Oh yeah.
It's like I felt the pain then, but before then I didn't feel a thing, except for I did feel the pinches from the tourniquets. So y'all definitely put those on good because like it was straight pinching me. Like that's the only pain I could feel at that time was the tourniquets.
I think that's such a testament to what the Marine Corps is, right? It's like, I don't know how many times I've gone through that training, right? Whereas you guys go through that training so much because that's your job. My job is vastly different, right? But I had known right away, bam, what to do. And I think that's crazy. I think it's absolutely nuts. It was the only tourniquet I've ever put on any, and I knew exactly what to do. This is just boom. Okay, this is. I hadn't even played around with those damn things, and so like I was just like, makes sense. Let's do it. Like, I would say, huge kudos to the corpsman. I forgot his name.
There was Rosasco and can't remember his real name. I don't remember his gamer tag because I would game with him for a good while a few years back.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, dude. Like I ran into him later on in a different after I think Staff Sergeant Lucas passed away, and I was just like, bro, like that was insane what you did for Larry. Like I've never seen anything like that. Like it was crazy. And we were the first two. I think there was a third guy that kind of came up. I don't remember who it was.
Probably Marino.
Yeah,
I remember him smacking me in the face and telling me to stop fighting. I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm not fighting." So I guess I did black out because all you guys told me I was fighting everyone. I just remember I knew I had to fight, and I remember I was looking for my knife. And I couldn't feel it.
Yeah,
shit, I'm glad I was gonna blast in my leg. I'm sorry.
We took your knife away.
Oh, that's why.
Yep, we took everything off you. We were like, I think that was a pretty jarring moment for me. It was like, oh shit, like this guy's trying to fight me and I'm trying to help him.
Well, I apologize.
No, I get it. I was still trying to figure out where the hell I was. So
Right, right, right.
that's a crazy part too, is like I ended up getting diagnosed with two TBIs that day.
Wow.
One definite, one um, the time frame between the two was pretty damn close. So I would say it was probably one big one, but you know, I didn't know where I was, and I think that, again, that's another huge testament of training, right? Is like, um, you just get into it and you just keep going. And like I was not in the right mindset to be doing anything like that, and all of a sudden it was just like boom,
Just
here you go.
clicks.
Hey, I'll hold him
Right.
down. You got him here. And it was pretty crazy. And then we fashioned you know a we basically got you in the what do they call those things?
The Polish litter.
Yep. The Polis litter. We got you in a Polis litter, and I picked you up in the front, and a couple other guys
Thank you,
got
Dirty.
you. Yeah, and we just ran with you. The helicopter came in. We didn't give a shit where the next ID was. We just kept running.
It was the Brits too, right? The helicopter that came in. I was told it was the Brits. Yeah, because my dad told me the doctor came and visited me, but I was just too drugged up. The doctor that was on the helicopter visited me at the hospital. It was her first time in America. I was too drugged up. He was like, hey, she was real pretty. She had on a black dress and everything. I was like, man, well, I don't remember that. He's like, no, you just
Do you remember what you said?
smile.
Do you remember what you said to me when you got on the helicopter?
No, see, and that's the thing. I was telling somebody, I was like, I know I said something slick, and then she's like, all right, we're gonna put you to sleep now. But I don't remember what I said. Please tell me what I said.
You go. I go, man, you're gonna be good, man. We got you here, and you go, who the hell are you?
Oh, that's what I said. Oh wow. Okay, yeah. I thought I said something crazy.
I was like, well, they're good. Like, they's never gonna remember who I did. They're gonna remember me. It's pretty funny, man. I remember sitting there that night, and to be honest with you, that night was also the night I chose to, like, that was the night I chose to get out of the Marine Corps.
Oh wow, okay.
I don't know if I ever told you that story, but after you had left, in that AO, they did, pineapple grenades, and they stayed close to the wall and they were throwing grenades up. Like, I had heard things.
I heard that's how Staff Sergeant Lucas passed away.
Yeah. Well, he got hit by a recoilless rifle. I think, going to the coming back from the showers.
Right.
And, but there were stories of them, like, we would go to bed and they would hang pineapple grenades outside the door. And so you would open it, drop them, and then, they would take out. So there's stories of us finding those. I remember going through this process of going, okay, if the grenade's thrown up here, this is what I'm going to do. And this is what I'm going to do. And none of them ended up with me being alive. And, I was like, okay, I think I'm good. I think this is it for me. I think I've seen the things that everything that the Marine Corps had to offer. I think I did everything pretty honorably. And that was actually the night where I was like, you know what?
No, bro. That's everyone's decision.
Yeah.
It's your own decision.
Yeah.
Man, shit. I remember, man, I was sitting in the hospital bed, and somebody turned on Family Guy. I thought about it, and I was getting pissed, man, because, like, I felt like a piece of shit. I was like, man, they're still deployed. I'm over here in the hospital eating sometimes good food, sometimes not.
It was probably way better than what we were getting.
Right.
I think I think there's more to tell with, like, the story of, like, what you went through, right? Like, I can't comprehend, if I was in your shoes, if I would have done the things that you're doing right now, like even doing this podcast, right? Like, that's honestly one of my biggest honors, is to share a Purple Heart with guys like you, and guys that are no longer with us, is because, like, for the most part, like I had a traumatic brain injury, but I didn't lose any limbs, man. And there was a lot of blood spilled, and I think that I think about that a lot. Anytime I see my purple medal, my Purple Heart medal, or anybody wants to talk about it, I think about that piece. It's like, man, like it's such an honor to share a medal with guys that, there was real heroism that day.
Mhm.
And I try to bring that into to my job now,
Right.
as much as possible. So I get to see the best of people. The next morning we got ambushed again. So
Wow.
we got ambushed again. I was like, man, these guys won't go to stop, bro. Just stop. We just want to go home now.
I mean, you see, it's kind of crazy because it's like, what I was saying to one of the new guys that he kept on getting in trouble, so I don't even think that they let him leave the wire. But I guess he wasn't in any firefights on that deployment, I mean, except for like the initial one where they ambushed. I'm not sure if you were attached to us yet. They had ambushed the compound we were staying in. Well, they ambushed the snipers, and we were giving cover fire for the snipers from the compound. And he was like, "Well, how's it feel?" I was like, "I mean, honestly, it was like your very, very first time, you kind of thrown off guard and like, okay, well, it's time to get some. After that, you don't care, you just get pissed. You're like, because I know more than most likely they're gonna try to run away before we even truly even engage them. And then even like coming up and down from the different posts and stuff, it's like I don't know if it's that sniper or different snipers, but it's like you hear like a bullet just whiz past you, and you're like, whatever. You just keep on climbing the ladder. It's like he's either gonna hit me on the ladder or not. It's like it's whatever.
We did we did a ceremony. I think it was for Goyette.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely for Goyette. We're doing a ceremony, and obviously I got to photograph that, right? Like that's my job is to make sure I document that and send that stuff home, so the family can get that stuff. And I remember we're doing basically a walkthrough of it, and the chaplain's there, and a round hits right past his head, like literally right in a wall in the motor T pool at Shark's Tooth. And we went, well, that's over. Let's get out of here. And we're just sitting there like, man, this is just every day. It's like, you never know, like luckily they can't shoot worth the shit, it's
right.
like, they hide bombs really well. They cannot shoot worth the shit at all, and so it's like, it was really interesting. And you talked about like the poppy harvest. I remember my first patrol. I want to say it might have been with First.
Mm-hmm.
We went out, and it was just as it was like the day that we thought we were going to see contact because of the poppy harvest. Right. Just got harvested. We know that they're going to spend all their money on weapons and all kinds of stuff. And we went with that British Special Forces guy. I don't know if you remember him.
Is he the one with the Tiger teams, or is he the one that laid down on ID? Okay.
Yeah. He was with the Tiger team, so I was there when he got injured.
I remember him.
And
he was cool.
Dude, he's a great dude. He's a great guy.
Excuse me, real quick, Chris.
Yeah.
It was 2011, Dirty. It was June 28th, 2011. Oh yeah, Godbody, remember? Yeah, you're right, Godbody. All right, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So on that patrol, every patrol was so different. You're taking over a different compound. You're seeing different adversity altogether, right? Like, you might be doing maybe something similar to what you were doing before. The mission's totally different. Sometimes you're taking over a compound. Sometimes you're just, showing offensive force. And I think that's what we were trying to do there. And we find a 50-pound IED in like a fork in the road. We back up.
50 pounds?
Yeah, we found a big boy, and we we're like, oh shit! Like we found copper wire, and we start backing up.
Like a medium size like hotel, y'all.
Yeah, it was not good. It was definitely made to take out some kind of vehicle. But we found the copper wire, And so we back up a little bit, and it was along this ditch. And I remember like standing there, and I looked down, and there's a mortar round just smashed into the mud. And I'm like, that shouldn't be there. I'm like, guys, we got to keep backing up. And sure enough, we backed up, and they had daisy chained it. So
Oh,
they
yeah,
were
it's definitely for like
trying
a
to
convoy or vehicles. Yeah.
yeah, get the whole squad. Well,
Hmm.
we're sitting there waiting for the big one to blow up. And so we send a EOD out there to blow it up, and we're sitting there, and we hear an explosion. So we hear the countdown and explosion, and we're like, nothing blew up in front of us. And we turn around, and the British guy had sat on an IED on his last day. It was his last patrol.
Damn.
He was about to go home, and
Damn.
sat under a tree, sat right on one, and then we had to take him and run him back. I never saw that guy again. Like it's crazy, right? Like, and that was my first patrol, so I was like literally, you cannot drop your guard out here, or you are gone. You're gonna get smoked. So
That's wild. Speaking of, go ahead, man. I felt bad because his parents, they wanted to meet me for a long time. It was like, I just feel so guilty, which I guess that's what survivor's guilt is, I guess. Like I was always thinking is like, man, it's like, what if they're like, well, why did their son live and our son die? And like, man, it took me maybe like 6 years before I saw them. And, when I did finally, and they've always wanted to meet me, but when I finally did meet them, they're real cool, super loving and stuff. But it made me feel even more crappy. I was like, damn, man, it's like I don't know why I was being stupid about meeting them. I don't generally fear anything really, but that I was sweating bullets, man.
dude, it's I've gotten older, I've been able to tell that story way better. I get a little bit less emotional,
Okay.
right? Like, I mean, you saw, like, when I first saw you in St. Leo, when you got all, like, we got you there, and I was like, oh shit, like this, like, I'm putting the day I put you on the helicopter and that together in my mind. I thought like I would be able to handle that, and I honestly wasn't. Like, one of the thing I always tell like when veterans ask me, like, or guys getting out, especially earlier on, guys I know were getting out, and they're like, what should I do? And I was like, join a team. You like, if you're athletic, you can do anything. There's colleges out there that will take you. I was so blessed to be surrounded by a locker room that normalized me a little bit, helped me navigate a system. I know that I'm blessed to have that, because like there's a lot of veterans that are trying to figure that out on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 50 dudes in a room that were like, yo, we're going to take this old guy, and he might suck at lacrosse, but like he works his ass off for us. So let's bring him in,
Mm-hmm.
and I was super blessed to have that. And, I think because of that, it's gotten so
Thank you, Dirty.
to tell that story. Like, it's become, it was an eye-opening experience for me to kind of look at and go, you know what, there's guys that want to hear this story, and they want to know the whys. They want to know why I do the things that I do, and why I'm the person I am, and why Larry's the guy he is, right? And as I got older, it became easier to tell that story. I'm actually surprised. I maybe teared up a little bit here, and probably didn't catch it, but I think this is like, I think it's super therapeutic to talk through that stuff, especially with people that you've been through it with. So
Yeah. I mean, I think she gets it, but I think my sister messes with me. She says all the time, like, why are you randomly grumpy? I was like, I don't know. Just in my head sometimes.
I'm a negative. I'm not a very positive person.
Right.
I'm prepared for the worst case scenario at all times.
Exactly.
I think one thing I noticed, when I first got out, was like, I don't know how the VA was for you, and it was probably hard to navigate that system a little bit with you, a little bit more than me. But when I got out, most of my stuff was head trauma, and, things like that. I had some back injuries, and I blew out my knee on that deployment as well. And apparently I kept going with it. So my knee's shredded now, but again, like it's not that bad when you really think about it. I get to go home to my parents every day,
Right.
and like so like I thought I get to get on the phone with my brother, and I think one thing I noticed was that I think the VA was going through some things when we got out. Um, there was a lot of pill pushing, things like that I tried to stay away from.
Well, I
I
mean, they almost threw it at you.
Dude, it was wild. It was wild. I remember going into because I had to go see a therapist, right? And so I go see a therapist, and they're like, "Well, we want to put you on this," and I was like, "I ain't taking any of that. I'm just gonna go to the gym, and I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm never coming back here."
Right.
And
Right.
I was so like I realized how blessed I was to realize that situation and get out of that. Because there's a lot of guys that look at that and kind of go, okay, this guy in a lab coat is telling me I need this, and so I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I think that was a huge thing. What I've noticed now is that it's a lot better now than it was when we were getting out.
Agreed.
I think they've done a fantastic job of cleaning some of that stuff up. But it's crazy, man. Like again, like I try to tell the story as much as possible. For all your viewers, I'm a college coach. I coach college lacrosse, and I'm going on my 11th year. I was a head coach this past year. I moved into Division One this year.
I was about to say, what division though, sir? You got to tell them what division.
Yeah, so I'm a Division One coach as of this week, and
That's what's up.
I get to go back home to Virginia, which is pretty awesome. But it's going to be something I bring with me and tell the story of multiple times. Like so, Larry was part of our military appreciation day at St. Leo. He came out, talked to the guys, which was a huge blessing. And I was telling him before this, some of our guys, even still to this day, will be like, "Yo, how's Larry doing?" And it's pretty crazy, because we even had Canadians on that team, and they're like, "Yo, tell us about Larry. How's he doing?" It's something that I continue to tell our guys, and really try to push. Life can be so much worse, in a lot of situations, and
Okay.
it really is about adversity and fighting through it. And so I try to take the story wherever we go. So something we did this year is we did a military appreciation game, but rather than just do the cool jerseys and the uniforms, and we had each person study a Medal of Honor recipient
Oh,
from 1st Marine Division,
oh wow. Okay. Okay. Okay.
and then do a presentation on it in front of all the other guys.
Right.
And so it's little stuff like that builds such a strong culture, and really get the guys understanding, like, well, this guy jumped on a grenade for his guys, and playing lacrosse every day is not that bad. Like, I get to go to class, and I get to be an athlete, and I get to be surrounded by guys that really care about me. And I think that's super important for them to realize that. And when they go through those processes and do them themselves, I think it's pretty awesome. So I try to bring this with me wherever I go. And sure enough, my next stop, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to push, veterans to step up and do more, because I think our country really needs that right now. And there's a lot of young men right now trying to figure out what that looks like. And, I get to be on the front lines of that, which is pretty cool. So.
Well, he has some photos, Teddy. I actually just forgot. I was gonna ask him a question,
Yeah, go ahead.
or was it a comment? Oh no, yeah, no. I was just gonna say, what you had asked a little bit earlier. So, when I first got injured, it was kind of a good thing and a bad thing. Pretty much the military hospitals and the VA, they pretty much gave us anything we asked for. So, at that time, which was a good thing and a bad thing, but it's like at the same time, I seen it's like I might have took my medicine or pills maybe like the first 3 weeks, but after that it's like I've seen some of the other dudes, I've seen some of the other wounded warriors get in trouble for selling them, or because again all we had to do was ask, and They gave us whatever we wanted for some of them and stuff. And I was like, no, I'm good. I want nothing to do with the pills. I will just write out the pain, which was hard some nights, but
It makes you so much stronger, man. Like going through that, like so I noticed it when I blew up my knee in Afghanistan, but the VA had lost my paperwork, so I didn't get my surgery till 2 years later.
damn.
So I had no ACL, no meniscus for I don't know my first freshman year of college lacrosse. So I didn't play my first year, but I ended up getting the surgery, and even then the VA gave me way too much. And I remember like being in the classroom and being like, okay, I'm in a little bit of pain. Let me take this pill and it will go away. And I remember flushing them. I remember going to the bathroom and going, I'm good. I'm just going to flush them. And now I can't do anything about it. And I'm just going to live with that decision.
Right, right, right.
It was one of the best decisions I've ever made. So,
I feel you on that for real.
because they'll fill them back up. They probably gave me too much, to be honest with you. They were safer than sorry, and again, like I think that's something that you know I think that the Marine Corps probably teaches you a little bit of self-awareness,
Right.
when you're beat up, man, like you're beat up when like when you can give more, you give more, right? And yeah, I mean, and that was a time where they were trying to figure that piece out, is the VA you got so many people getting out at that time too because of they had the buyout, right? And so they were downsizing as we were getting out, and so the VA was a mess. It was a mess. So
Right, Teddy. Right, right. No, man, look, bullshit. I would tell people all the time, I was like, look, I knew until I got blown up, I knew there would be some point I would be having surgery probably on my left ankle and my left knee. Like I knew it. I felt it every day. I would jack my knee up all the time.
yeah, dude, I'm still messed up to this day. I've tried different things. I've tried dieting. I've tried all kinds of stuff, and like I think we're getting old, brother. We weren't good on our bodies. You more so than me, but
Jumping over walls with the 240 and stuff, like just rolling my ankle and kept going. At that time, I didn't care. I
nope,
was just wanted to get the firefight over.
nope, yep. And well, that was the thing is like I remember the exact moment I tore my ACL. I was climbing out of a trench on like my third or fourth patrol, and I had all my weight on, and I get pulled out of the trench, but my knee slipped, and so it was like just kind of went out on me. I was like, that didn't feel too good. And I remember a guy coming up to me, he goes, "Really, your knee? That's what hurt." And I was like, this is really bad. Like I'm a pretty tough dude, and this doesn't feel too good.
Right.
And it was like the size of a watermelon, man. It was huge. And they were like, "Do you want us to call an event?" Like, not for my knee. Let's just keep walking. I'll limp this thing off.
Right.
So,
if you can, Chris, if you don't mind showing any of them, they mentioned the pictures a few times, mainly Teddy. If you have any that you want to show, it's your personal past, so it's up to you.
I mean, I'll show the things that I showed you before, because I think that's a pretty awesome story. What I'll do is I'll share the photos I do have with you after, and you could share them in the chat or share them with whoever wants to see them.
Okay.
So I kept all of the photos from that day, every single.
Oh wow.
So I have them all somewhere. I'm in the middle of a move, so it's pretty interesting. The other part is like oddly enough, I got this text from Larry, 2-3 days ago, and I'm on the move, and I open up one of my bags, and I'll show the picture of you first. So it's a little bit backwards, but that there is Lance Corporal Larry Bailey.
I just got NJP'd. I hated life at that time. Just lost my rank.
So I found these. So these are what they hang up when somebody gets injured. So like Larry's actually never seen this. So when Larry got hurt, they hang these up in like headquarters, and Combat Camera usually does them and puts them up in headquarters tent, and you can still see the tape on them. And it was odd. It was so odd, like that I found this today. Like I was like going through, I was like, oh shit, like that's wild. These things are literally in a tent, from a tent in Afghanistan. And then the other one that I wanted to show him, and I'm going to end up giving these to Larry when I get to Virginia, and so he can send them out to his guys, is I actually have Mark Goyette's, the Marine that we lost that day. I have his as well, and it's pretty crazy to kind of, again, come back and see some of these things. I keep a lot of stuff. I'm a memento guy, right? So
I got you.
Dude, I got all kinds of stuff that is so random. But it was pretty cool to kind of come across that today. And Larry, I'm going to make sure I get that to you. I'm going to give you the whole group. Otherwise, they're just, I'm hogging them. I know you're going to get it to the guys, right? Like you said, I'm pretty sure Goyette's family would love to have that.
Right, definitely. I'll definitely get to them.
Yeah.
Oh, would you mind showing the first one again?
Yeah, absolutely.
The guy to our right. Can you move it over just a little bit? There you go. The guy that guy to our right. That was one of my guys. I guess right after I got blown up, he perfectly got shot through the cheeks. I guess his mouth was open.
Yep,
is what I was told, and like that's crazy. Just didn't hit anything crazy. Just his cheeks went through one cheek, came out the other cheek. That's wild. And those guys can't aim for shit. So for them, that was like probably one of their best shots ever.
Yeah, they were celebrating that for sure. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like I have probably about 20 of these sheets, and they have 2-3 Marines. I think there ended up being 91 casualties, in 7 KIAs, I believe. Yeah. You had Camaro, Staff Sergeant Lucas, Goyette.
I know Staff Sergeant Lucas hit the guys hard. Like I really liked him, but I didn't realize how many other guys really liked him.
When that guy passed, man, I turned into just a puddle.
I think he just had twins before that deployment, right?
Dude, like that hit me harder, man. Like it hit me so hard when we did the Purple Heart ceremony, and like see his family go up there for that. I was done, bro. I was out.
I can imagine.
Third, no offense to second platoon, but third platoon's where I spent a lot of my time.
I was weapons. I was just attached to them.
And he took me under his wing a little bit more than he had to,
Right.
And I think that was such a kick, right? Like it's just like, man, like that dude was one of the best Marines I've ever met in my life. And you hear that when somebody passes, right?
Right.
I can't tell you there's not one person that would say a bad thing about that dude. Like he was one of the best leaders I've ever met in my life. Like he was just a dude that would, hey Burke, you need a break? I'll fill the sandbag for you. Like it's like, you're a staff sergeant, you don't have to do that.
Right.
He would go out of his way to do stuff like that. They always talk about how he messed with the radios and stuff because he was always on the damn radio. He was up before everybody and he was the last to go to sleep. And to see that from a staff sergeant is absolutely nuts. You run into some great staff sergeants, but like he might've been the best. Like it was crazy. And I met him for 4 or 5 months and I was just like, yo, this guy is somebody that I want to stay around.
His picture might be in my old phone. Oops, my bad. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good.
I thought I had his photo, but I guess it's in my old phone.
Yeah, I sent his photos. Any photo I took, I sent it straight to his family. I was like, hey, this is everything I got on him. He was fantastic. And I think, for the viewers, like as a combat camera guy, I got to see things from the outside an outside perspective. You know, I didn't spend years with some of these guys, right? And so, um, you know, not only did I have to build trust with them, I think it was um, you know, there was a piece of it that was, you know, I had to not only prove myself, but also I was in and out of lives really quickly, and it was really interesting. Um, you know, and I think it makes guys like that make an impact in that short amount of time. Tells you all you need to know about them, right? So, um, but Seth Sergeant Lucas was a man. He was awesome.
Okay, I think. Wow, I don't know what happened to everything. I only got one picture. I'm pretty positive you're probably the one that took it. I'm gonna email it to myself and put it up here real quick. Oh, there you go. Yep, that's Staff Sergeant Lucas right there, guys. He was a great dude. Um, what's my name? My email. There we go.
Was it the one where he's over the radio?
Oh no, it wasn't of him.
Oh,
The one of him you showed, I have the same picture, but it came from Facebook. I just don't know where it is. Pretty sure it's on my old phone. Let me get through these real quick. And then, well, I guess after you got out, I don't know. Was it a hard or easy transition for you?
it was tough, man. You know, I have an ex-wife now, as many of us do.
I was gonna say that's all of us.
That happens.
I got married after, but still.
Yeah, I got married before the deployment. I changed a lot. Um, you know, but not like anything crazy, but like I was more passionate. I was more driven.
Just one picture. There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
You probably took that one.
I did take that one.
Okay.
I did take that one. That was the one that made it on Fox News.
Oh yeah. We didn't even mention, yeah, like a little bit after I went up to the school that Chris was at the time at St. Leo, we did a Fox News interview together. That was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. They flew us up to Fox and Friends and all kinds of stuff. You know, and then yeah, it was neat. I never expected any of that.
Mhm.
All of a sudden they were like, "Hey, you guys want to go to New York?" And we're like, "Sure." It's like I get to miss practice. Yeah, it was. But yeah, I mean, transitioning for me, like I said, was I would say is probably easier for me than most people. You know, um, I agree with you, Teddy. By the way, in and out of lives is pretty heavy. You know, there's people I'll remember that won't remember me. You know,
Right.
you know, my job was to tell a story, Teddy. So that's what I did, man. And it was it was the best job. I got to see extraordinary heroism every day. Like it was, especially on that deployment, right? Like I get to see everything the Marine Corps had. I get to see young men, like 17 and 18-year-olds, do incredible stuff. Um, you know, and I think it was pretty special, and get to know a lot. I got to know a lot of people, which I think was, you know, we were talking about it before, man. Like a lot of people think we're running around there, you know, waving an American flag, playing, you know, Star Spangled Banner, um, you know,
Yeah,
and
they be all over the place. Even though I tell people all the time, I was like, look, this
when you get
it's
out
not
there,
World War II or Vietnam. It was literally impossible to do
no,
anything with anybody out there.
no, when you get out there, it's about saving the guy to your right and your left and doing everything you
Yeah.
can to make sure they get home. And so it ends up becoming more about the people, um, you know, and it's a pretty awesome kind of like when I really think about it now, you know, 10 years later, you know, it's like man, like I really miss a lot of those dudes. Like those guys were, you know,
Right.
that I
Right.
knew for one day, I'll remember the rest of my life. You know, and for whatever reason. But yeah, man, it's you end up loving the people, and
Oh shit.
that's why you keep fighting.
That's true. That's what's up, Dirty. And I just forgot what I was gonna say again.
Teddy found it on Getty. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Like yeah, it's so when we brought when Larry came out to St. Leo, he met our team, spoke to our team at St. Leo University. I think you could still look up Fox and Friends. I think called us up there. I think it was Fox and Friends. They called us up there. You can still find it on YouTube to this day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can just look up St. Leo Lacrosse, combat veterans, and one of our names, and I'm sure that it will probably Google up. But it was a really neat experience, and I think that was an eye-opening experience for me. It probably I'll let Larry kind of talk on his experience, but for me, it was like, oh wow, like we can do something different here. Like we can we can help some people understand us, which I
Right.
think is super important. Um, and I think that was an eye-opening experience for me. It was like, oh wow, we're on the top stage. Like there's nowhere Fox News is probably the highest we can go with this. And then I was like, oh wow, we can actually tell our story to a lot of people and different stories that we do have and hope people learn something from them. So, and I'll kind of let you kind of talk on your experience there too.
Well, for me, I mean, I was just like, oh, like like kind of caught me off guard, but I was definitely game for it. My main thing was I was just making sure I was like, man, let me just make sure I represent properly. Let me not say nothing crazy. Let me not say nothing that people aren't ready to hear at this time. Things were still, I mean, because if you think about it nowadays, you can say a little bit more crazy stuff on TV, on the news, online. So I was just worried about not looking crazy and representing our brothers and sisters.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. It was a little bit nerve wracking, but for a good thing.
Right.
Once you do it live too, like you say something, you say it, it's out
Right.
there.
That's it. That's it.
You know,
No taking it back.
Yeah, there's no taking it back. But like I said, I try to bring that story with me wherever I go now. Is like, so I was telling Larry about something that we did at my previous institution. We had like a locker room that was a little divided, little too competitive, if you will. That can be a thing. And we needed to do something to kind of figure out where everybody was and why we do things a certain way. And there's a clear cut between me and my players, right? And this was my first year at this job, and I had to redo the entire culture of this program. And so this was 4 years ago. And so I did this thing that we called a chair talk, and we brought a chair in the middle of the room, and everybody could talk about it, anything they want. If you want to call out Larry, you can call out Larry. Hey, Larry, I don't think you work hard enough, and it's really pissing me off. Cool. Next guy goes up. And then at the end, we have them say something positive about somebody, right? So like you kind of bring it all together. I always tried to be the first guy in the chair. So I told them, I was like, listen, guys, like, I'm going to let you know about June 28th in my life and why that's a life-changing moment in my life and why I do the things I do and why I coach you the way I coach you and why I care so much and all of the things that go with that. And I don't think there was a dry eye in the room. Like it was just like everybody's like, well, we can't top that guy. Like that guy's nuts.
Right.
But it really got the guys to understand, like, oh shit, like Coach Burke actually, like, he cares, man. Like he really cares about us. He really wants us to succeed.
Intense for a reason.
He has a purpose behind everything he does. He does things differently than everybody else. And here he just told us the reason why. And then the whole room started opening up and people started telling stories. And it was and I continue every year. I'll save it in my back pocket, but I will bring it up. And my new institution, I'm gonna have to do it again. I know I am. Like there's going to be a day that they take for granted. And I'm going to have to go, listen, we're going to sit down, we're going to talk. And let me tell you a little story. Story time. Everybody circle around me, sit Indian style. And I think I'm gonna have to do it again. And you know, I think it's one of those things. Like I tell guys all the time, like you said that you were an honorary coach, man. Like you don't have to know the game to be a great coach. You can teach culture. You can teach so many experiences that nobody is ever going to understand. And I think, I really try to push guys to tell their stories a little bit more, because we all have different perspective on, like, your perspective on that day is vastly different than mine, which is why I think you ended up, calling me and getting me on the phone. It's so different. So, I got to see, it from the outside's perspective, right? I was kind of distant from it, but I was still part of it. And I think that's a big thing. It's like when you can sit back and you can kind of look at everything and diagnose things and kind of break them down. I think it's a good thing. So.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, it's like even for me, man. So it's like, just I'll be honest with you, like a lot of work opportunities and stuff, and while working out stuff like that, I probably would never happen. Maybe if I never got blown up, but I got to intern for a lot of different agencies that works with the government or government agencies and stuff, and a lot of them people are veterans. But it's like it was weird because like they were still telling me, like, hey, he was like, you're way too intense, and I was like younger than like everyone else. So I was like, well,
Yeah, yeah.
like,
oh, am I?
right, why are we being lazy about this? Like, let's go. Look, if we're not dealing with money, we're dealing with possible criminals or people that's not supposed to be in this country. Not
Right.
ICE. When I say that, people, not ICE.
Well, and I think that's part of it, man. Is like, I think what I noticed is that, like, we talked about, like, the healing process that goes through speaking about this story, right? And going through some of the trauma that I went through. Um, it helps so much, but then it gets easier to tell that experience from a learning standpoint. Like, hey, I'm going to show you why I'm the coach that I am. Here's why.
Right, right.
You can do it whatever you want with that information, but, like, I'm not going to change who I am because this is who I am, and it's got me pretty damn far. This
Maybe at some places I could have did a better job of that, like explaining where I come from. Like, no offense to nobody, but a lot of y'all, a lot of them was hardly any of them was Marines, other than the owner of who I work for now.
Yeah. And I think that's a part of it too, is like finding your fit, right? Like, I think a lot of people struggle with that. And I think that's where, college athletics came in hand for me, is that I found my fit. I found a purpose behind what I could do. At one point I was the oldest player in Division II, and, like, I was playing against national champions as a 30-year-old man. Like, that's insane. That's absolutely nuts. I'm just so blessed for that experience, and somebody was willing to give me that opportunity because they actually saw what we brought to the table. Coach Jorgensen saw, like, hey, he seems like a good dude. He's going to push my guys harder as a guy on the team, not as a coach, but as a guy on the team. I don't see it. Worst case scenario, he sucks at lacrosse, right? Like, and so, I think, that was I'm so blessed that Coach Jorgensen gave me that opportunity, because there were some people that turned me down,
Right.
and then here I am, chugging along 12 years later, and using that as something that is going to keep growing other people. And I think that's huge, man. So, I mean, if you can always, like, if you can tell that story and teach it, like, that's different than just telling the story. There's whys behind things, and, like, the conversation's a little bit different. So I think if you can teach people, man, people will understand you a little bit more.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
and it got easier.
I mean, honestly, like when I've done speeches for teams, just that's always been the easiest. Just is when like we'll use like a tech company for example. When I give speeches to them, they're like, well, they're the ones that I don't know if they're just being legit. They're just a lot of more peculiar people, or they're trying to like catch me up, or I have no idea. But like I'll get stuff like, well, it's like, how does that apply to our workspace? And then I'll go break it down to them like, okay, well, I told you this part of the story, whatever. It's like I told you I got blown up and there was no more Polish litter, so they had to grab a ladder. What was it, like a ladder and a sheet or a tarp?
Yeah, yeah, it was some makeshift thing. I don't even know where it came from, to be honest with you.
Oh, I know it's off subject from what I was saying, but somebody told me my femur was sticking out, and you guys bumped it on a wall, and I started cussing and shit. I was like, I don't remember that. That's what they told me.
I was in the front. I was facing straight forward, so it wasn't my fault. Your head was facing me, so.
How you just gonna boot someone's naked bone on the wall? Like, damn.
Yeah, you better blame somebody else for that one.
That's all I was told, man. I don't remember it.
I remember afterwards, there was a bunch of guys that were staring at like your blood on a wall.
What the fuck?
I cleaned it up. I took it down. I said, guys, like, we gotta keep going. Like, I know, like we gotta keep going, And there was a couple guys that were just kind of looking at it from afar, and so I just grabbed a knead tool and just started beating the shit out of that oven to take all that off. And tried to collect.
I appreciate that, man.
It's funny because like I don't remember that right away until we start talking about this maybe for an hour. It was like, oh shit, like I forgot about that part of the story. So,
and that's my thing though. It's like when like colleges ask me to come talk to them, like we got a bunch of people in here that's planning to become officers, or like recruiters ask me to come talk, and I was like, why do y'all want me to come talk? I don't want to scare nobody away. It's like, I can tell y'all how much I love combat, but obviously got blown up. Like, I'm not trying to scare nobody. Like, I like cyborgs. I don't know how many other people's trying to be a real life cyborg though.
Yeah, I could see how a recruiter that would probably be a bad pitch. Like, okay, I'm going to the Navy.
Right.
I don't know. This recruiter's not hitting his quota. He just keeps getting Larry to keep speaking to these kids.
Exactly. Connect something. But yeah, no, man, I definitely appreciate that, because like I would hate for that to mess up, especially the newer guys that were just starting out. Like I would hate for that to mess them up.
Yeah, I think, man, like I said, like I think everybody wants to be a hero until they have to be a hero, right? And you kind of. I was blessed to have a job where I was hands-on, but I got to see everything, right? Like I was an outside observer in a lot of situations. If you guys did your job right, I did my job very well. Like
right.
And I think that is it's made me who I am today, is because I got to watch a lot of stuff like what you did that day, and I get to watch a lot of heroism, and every patrol I saw crazy shit, and it was just like, you gotta go take a picture of that. So so there's a couple. So there's one funny story I definitely want to tell, because there's probably a lot of people, like a couple people asked, like they didn't know there was combat photographers. First time I was in combat, I was getting ready. So I hear, bullets flying, and I'm like, oh shit, we're in it. It's the first time. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, I get to take my first combat photo. This is great, right? And I get ready to take a photo, and I realize I'm just standing up in the middle of a field. And I look down, and the bullets are hitting near me. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, and I turn and look, and I think it was Klein, the engineer, with Third.
I remember Klein.
Klein's a man. I love Klein. he looks at me and he goes, he's just like one of these, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, get down on the ground. Like, and so I'm like, oh shit. Like, I get back down and I'm like, where are they at? And they're behind that tree. So we just leveled this one tree. But that was the first time I was like, okay, make sure I'm safe before I take the photo.
Well, I'm pretty sure like that first firefight, first firefight the second platoon had of that deployment, man. I'm pretty sure that whole building, yard, everything was just level. It's like you could see where they were at, like it's like a few of us were like they're in the gutter, but it's like I remember I saw like palm tree leaves falling and stuff. I was like, wait, so who's shooting up there? Like when the few glass windows that building had getting blown out.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what y'all shooting at, but I don't think nobody survived. Because
No,
if no one survived, no bugs survived.
That's the crazy part too. Is like half the time we never knew what we were like. We knew it was very rare that you saw the person that you're shooting.
You actually saw, yeah.
Like and
so
I think,
scary.
I think that's the craziest part about it is that the rules of engagement restricted us so much. And that being a photographer, I got to use so people started using me on patrols so I could use my zoom lens. Because I had the zoom lens, right? So they're like, hey,
oh, that makes sense. Okay.
And so people started using me for that earlier on. They were like, yo, Burke's got a zoom lens. Let's see what's over there. And I'm like, yeah, it's a guy with a gun, but he's not pointing at us, and he's got military grade binoculars. Well, call it up the chain, and the chain would come back and be like, hey, just watch him. And it's like, he's clearly going to try and kill us. Like, what are we doing here? So like
we have some stupid rules of engagement, y'all.
So bad, guys. So bad. And I think that was a massive like piece for me is like, so I tell the story of a guy that we bought a compound from. So I want to say I was with Staff Sergeant Lucas. And we went out, took over this compound. There's a guy in the compound. We give him money. We buy the compound. He goes in with his family, takes everything out, and leaves, right? He leaves all his trash, of course, right? Doesn't take that with him. And so we clean out the compound, and a couple days go by. Man, I can't remember the time frame that happened. I want to say it was a couple days. The sniper see a guy spotting on us, and he had a weapon that he was going to point at us. And so he pointed the weapon. The snipers took him out. We go out. We go find the guy. Don't find the weapon. Don't find the military grade binoculars. But we all saw him. And sure enough, it's the guy that we bought the compound from.
Same, just bought from they're trying to shoot it right.
It wasn't his compound. So he sold his buddy's compound. Took the money, took all the stuff that the guy owned, moved out of there, went back to his house with all that stuff, and then decided to spend that money on weapons would be my guess.
Right.
We took him out, and there was like I had to take the investigative photos. So I had to take the photos of the guy, and there was like I think there was like possible NJPs happening, and I was just like, well, the guy was spotting on us and we took him out. Like, that's what we're supposed to do.
Well, that's the thing though, y'all. It's like a lot of times the people that's making these rules of engagement are up here in DC. It's the belief. I'm pretty sure this is 100% true. A lot of times it's like the senators and or the House members and stuff. Most of them has never seen combat. There's like a very few of them. But the people that makes the rules of engagement and sends them down to the Pentagon, and I'm not sure how much the Pentagon fights them, but a lot of them people has never seen combat. And sometimes it was as stupid as we can see somebody with a gun pointing at us, and then they walk inside a building, put down the gun, come back out without the gun, and we couldn't do a thing to them.
Or they'd go in the building and we couldn't do anything in the building. We could go after them because there might be a family in there or something like that. I know that we were right along the river, and they would bring weapons over on the river with children. I knew that was happening for a fact. It was nuts. It was nuts. I think one story I always like to tell too is of you know, again, like, and I kind of use like almost like a journalist perspective here, but I tell a story of a guy who was a lieutenant with second platoon, with Staff Sergeant Lucas, or no, with third platoon, with Staff Sergeant Lucas. Christensen. He was awesome, dude. I think he ended up with like 3 Purple Hearts or something. Like he got shot.
Yeah, he was a zombie guy. He got shot straight up in the head.
Yeah.
He perfectly circled his Kevlar, and like the tip of it, I guess, scraped his head, and he was just laying there. And then when he sat up, he like made some zombie noise, like blood dripping down his head. His eyes was rolled back. It's like they thought homie was a zombie. Like,
take him out. I know they hit the compensator, and it, so he got shot at his compensator, and it hit and like scraped his face too.
Oh wow.
I want to say he might have had two Purple Hearts, different combat scenarios.
First deployment though for him,
dude. I mean, and then Staff Sergeant Lucas was really teaching that guy a lot, and this is another testament to Staff Sergeant Lucas. And I mean, they were tied to the hip, like they were so close.
Right.
And so like I got to watch this guy go from hearts and minds to like, let's level this place.
Right.
You know, it was a young, freshly shaved, like he was a young college kid. It seemed like
he was definitely fresh, bro. Well, I don't think I ever told you, like, so his first day to the unit, we had just came back from the field, and you know they had everybody in the armory cleaning weapons and stuff, and like I don't remember what it was. I was pissed about something, and I remember I was walking. You know, I was tall, and he was kind of average height, short, whatever. All I see is just some black hair in my way. I pushed him to the side. I was like, move, and then I walked past him, and it clicked. I was like, did I see a bar? Did I see like a bar? And I turned around and looked. He's just staring at me, and I took off running. I was like, I'm out, man. Like, well, I just push my first officer, but it's whatever.
I have a photo of Christensen where you could see it like captured his like. I love portrait shots, like that was my thing. Like even with your photo, like you could tell that you were the subject, and you could like I tried to tell an entire story in one photo, right? And
that's what's up.
Yeah, it's hard to do, you know. But like I really loved portraits. I love telling stories of people. And I took this photo of Christensen where you could just see like the joy kind of like seep out of his face. And I was just like, shit, man. And it was right before Staff Sergeant Lucas had passed away. And
transition from like a fresh college student, just graduated college, to slowly becoming, I don't know what you call it, like a
I want to say
warmonger.
He was from UC Santa Barbara too. So like I want to say he was a California guy.
Okay.
And like to see like this young guy just kind of just totally turn against you know, I mean, how many times did we hear hearts and minds, and we were just like,
man, too much.
People don't want to. Every person here hates us. Like, what are we talking about? And
that's what I would tell people is like, look, they talk about hearts and minds. They like the way that they're living. They like being oppressed by the Taliban. Half of them was Taliban. It's like you can't win hearts and minds if people don't want to change. So at some point, you're gonna have to change things, or you're gonna keep on getting injuries and people getting hurt over stupid situations.
Yeah, he was gone when Staff Sergeant Lucas passed. I knew that.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because like that was his mentor, right?
I would say that was his mentor.
That was his mentor. You know, that was the guy that was helping him out, showing him how to do things, and you know, I think they just got back from across the river too. Like they did that mission across the river, hopped in the Ospreys, went over there, took over a compound, flew back. I can't remember what they called it. I wasn't part of it. I got kicked off of that mission. I wanted to be on that one.
Wow.
I was pissed. I was like, bro, I want to be there. Like, what are we doing?
Right. There's gonna be some high.
I'll document that. And
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they flew him back, and I think that's when Staff Sergeant Lucas passed. Was after that. So.
Right. No, I can only imagine. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like some people they just don't get it. It's like I don't even know how I get there in conversations sometimes, but I'll tell people like I don't. Oh, people ask the stupid question like, "You ever shot a kid?" I was like, "Probably." I mean, since they were like 13, 14, if they were holding a gun, it happened. But
That's
that's
it, that, and
that's
that's when I got those questions, man. Like that's when I realized there was a disconnection. Right? It's just like
right.
there was one dude in that locker room that asked me if I had killed anybody. One person, and he
Mm.
never asked that again.
You probably gave them quite the story.
I was just like,
Or the
well,
look.
I was like, never ask that question to anybody that's ever seen combat. Never ask that question. Like, it's just like that's not like I always tell people about like Veterans Day. Like how many times do we get thank yous and stuff like that? I appreciate that. But instead of doing like maybe ask a question to that's actually genuine to a veteran. I think you'd be surprised with the answer you would get. And because I think there's still a lot of disconnect. I think we've done a better job. I think a lot of veterans have come out and told stories, but not everybody's a special forces,
Delta Force,
a
Ultra Secret
Delta
Op.
sniper. Yeah, nobody, like, and then now you're getting a lot of stuff about guys telling lies and stuff like that, which I think is,
Yep, book writers stuff getting called out. Well, see,
yeah,
I tell
and
people all the time. I was like, 3-4, like yes, it was a special unit because it's a wartime unit. And they're like, oh, so you guys were SEALs? Like, no, that's all they want to hear. I'm like, oh, you weren't Delta Force or you weren't a SEAL. It's like, no, there's special units, special forces, the special forces guys that moves around. It's like, but again, movies and TV, that's all people want to hear.
right.
But,
And I think that's part of it too, is like people don't realize, like we had, we've had a great conversation here, but there's combat journalists out there. There's guys, at that point, they still had combat illustrators, guys that draw pictures in the Marine Corps. There was like maybe 3 of them, and I don't know where they are or who they are, but like that was a thing. Like the Marine Corps still had that person to draw portraits of people.
I had no idea.
Yeah, or they redraw, like, so I would give them a photo and they would draw that photo from my memory. So we have got people that still do that. I don't think they do that anymore. But those people back in 2012 were 2011, 2012. I think we're still there. I don't think combat camera changed all that much until I think 2013.
When I was in security forces, they would have Russians come over here and count our nuclear warheads and our missiles, and then we would send out people over there, and they would do that. I forgot all about that. I won't talk too much about security forces, but yeah, but it was called the START Treaty. START.
Okay.
We would have those guys go over there. They had a photographic memory, and they were artists. They would draw or sketch out everything that they seen at the Russian bases. And it's like, for us, we'd have to like cover up the like propellers on our submarines and stuff because
Right.
I never knew the way we design them. I guess it's like top secret and stuff. It was crazy.
Interesting.
And they would buy all the hot pockets at the commissary. I don't know what it was with the Russians and hot pockets. Hot pockets.
There was one. So I bump heads with higher ups pretty well. As probably Larry does, right? They would say I'm intense. I ran into that with a couple of the first sergeants and people in 3-4 as well. Where I was like, hey, I can take a picture of this. Like, I have a clearance for this.
Right.
And like, I got pushback. It's like, I'm here to tell your story, and this is part of the story, right? Like, if you don't want to show me that because you don't think I am allowed to see that, I'm letting you know. And so there was a couple of times where that became a heated argument too.
Oh wow!
It's just little stuff like that nobody ever thinks happens. They think operations just work. I was like, hey, tonight I'm going to go in the headquarters. I want to take some photos and send it to headquarters Marine Corps. And they're like, you can't do that. It's like, well, yeah, no, I can do that. That's my job. So I'll see you tonight. And so, it was really interesting kind of navigating that system as the only combat camera guy. Right. So, um, but yeah.
Well, so I didn't know you at that time. I don't know if you were actually with us or not, but it's like the time when I had kicked that kid down the hill. Well, well he had spit. He had spit at me, and I just happened to be looking down. And I seen it land straight between my feet, and I turned around and looked, and like all the old guys straight up point at him. So I kicked him, and he rolled down the hill, and everyone was like, "Hey, chill. We got a cameraman with us right now." And I don't know if you're actually with us or not, but I was like, "It is what it is."
Those kids were rotten, dude.
Yeah.
I would always tell them that the corpsman had chocolate. Coco, and just point at somebody and they would go run and bother him. They're like, "Oh, Coco!" You just hear in the back of the patrol, "Damn it, Berg!"
You know what's crazy? Do you remember that their main Coke product was that orange flavor called Pibsy, but it was a Coke product?
I never had that.
You never had? I tried it once, but I thought about it. I was like, they probably spit in this, so I was like, I don't want to know more. But I was I did a tour of the Coca-Cola factory, and I saw that, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not even tasting it.
Coke makes some really bad products. If you go to and you try all of them ones from different parts of the world, I would not recommend that.
There was one super nasty one. There's a Chinese one. I think it's passion fruit, but it tastes like barbecue sauce. I was like, what the hell? Like, Chinese people like this? Like, nah.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm ready to answer any questions or anything. I think.
Yeah, guys. If y'all got any questions for Chris before we get up out of here, I definitely appreciate you coming, Chris.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I think telling our story to people, I think is a huge piece of closing that gap a little bit. And like I said, man, I'm sure it was really hard for you. Like you said, meeting Goyette's parents. I mean, it was hard for me to deal with a lot of that stuff. And I oftentimes really just forced myself to do things, and it worked out. I was like, oh shit, I can tell this story without falling apart, So.
I said you're a cool guest, Chris.
No, thanks.
Appreciate it, God body.
Appreciate
Any questions for him though?
Appreciate you guys have. Yeah, you got a question?
Coaching, Marine Corps, photography. Thank you, Glossy. Oops.
We got a good vibe, you and I.
Yeah. We know each other for a minute now.
Yeah. We only knew each other for one day. Think about that. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah. Just the Marine Corps, the military, different things connects people.
Yeah.
Night, Dirty. Pat, Mimi, I'm sure she's been gone, but good night, Mimi. Thank you, Betty. Teddy, you normally got a question. Oh, what was your question earlier? This question, what was your favorite photo?
Oh, that's a great question. I got a lot of really ones that I really cherish, but there was one that I took of Klein that I will remember it the rest of my life. It is such a good photo.
He was my neighbor at Walter Reed, by the way, and I had no idea for a few days.
That's awesome. So we just took over a compound, and I took this picture of Klein. It was funny. We just took over the compound. We're getting mortared, and we're a recoilless rifle, I think is what they were using at that time. And we're sitting across from each other, just looking at each other. And I remember just having my camera sitting there, and I'm looking at him, and he has flip-flops on with baby powder on his feet and full gear, because we're just sitting there like, this sucks. We just got here and we're already getting recoilless rifle rounds. This is terrible. And I took this picture because I thought it was a great photo like they put art on the walls there,
Mhm.
you know, so like they're doing all their drawings on their house, right? And there was a bunch of kids' drawings around him. And I really pictured kind of the misery that Klein was in while he was just sitting there with flip-flops on and baby powder. And it was for some odd reason, like that tells me everything I need to know about that deployment. You know, I connect that deployment to that photo. It really is. It's very like, it was one of my photos that was really like pale, and then there was like pops of color because of the wall, and it was just a beautiful photo. And it was something that I just took the photo, took it like this. I was like, click, and then I go through it and I go, holy shit, that's the photo, that's the one that
Right.
is, you know, and I will always remember that photo. You know, and I tell Klein about that photo all the time. I'm like, hey, you know, anytime I talk to Klein, I'm like, hey, I still got that photo of you, bro. Like it's my favorite photo.
Oh,
Um,
that's a clown. I meant Jaime. My bad.
there was, yeah, I think Klein was one of the last engineers that didn't get hit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I meant Jaime.
yeah,
I don't know why I was thinking Klein. I meant Jaime. I mean, the dude that got shot in his throat.
yeah. And there was one photo that I took of the poppy field bloom, which is a beautiful flower. Um, and you know, obviously it's a drug, but it's still a beautiful flower.
Yeah. No.
Um,
When they bloom, the fields were real
oh
pretty.
my god, it was beautiful.
Purples, oranges.
And we're just doing a patrol through it, and I took a photo of somebody's back. I think it was Elson.
The name sounds familiar.
I want to say he might have been with snipers. It was my first. It was one of my
Oh,
first.
yeah. No. He actually pops in the chat every now and then.
Yeah, so he reached out to me a couple times, man. And yeah, it was really neat, man. It was a really beautiful photo. And then I got one of Milk's dapping up a kid. Um, you know, on a patrol, and I thought that was a really good photo as well. So I got a couple that I really love from that day. There wasn't many that I loved. You know, there's a couple. I'll remember a lot of those photos the rest of my life, but um, you know, I don't think there was a photo that day that I was like, that's my favorite photo.
Gotcha.
I think the photos I took of the squad when we were in security and things like that, I think were probably the best ones of that day. You
Okay.
know, like the one you showed was, you know, beautiful lighting. You know, we're in a field, we're sitting down for security real quick, and I think that might have been right before the first blast.
I think you're right.
So,
Um.
but I was in for 4.5 years. I got out with a buyout program. So when I got back from Afghanistan, you know, I took the buyout. I was like, yeah, give me 3 extra grand and I'll get out of here and go to college. So, and Teddy,
Oh,
yeah, Teddy, the drawing, the drawing on clay, it was drawing on clay. So there was like a clay wall. It's like their mud hut walls that they have. And he was leaned up against the wall, sitting with his knees up. And, you know, there's a black handprint here and some drawings here. It looked like cave drawings basically, but, you know, it was pretty awesome. It's a good, one of my favorite photos.
yeah. He was a real photographer, Teddy. Um, Before I ask you D Dirty's other question, I was just wondering, not no weirdo stuff or any of the weirdos out there, but it's like, did you ever get any pictures of like the like little girls with the grandpas or something? So one thing is like out there, they might not have the best culture for women when they get older, but it's like the little girls are really loved by their grandfathers, and I'll say, I mean, obviously my daughter is the cutest little kid to me, but those little girls are some of the cutest the little girls I've ever seen, with their shaved bald heads because of lice and stuff. But they were cute kids. The little boys, I couldn't stand them. They were dickheads. But
Yeah, the boys kind of sucked. They stole lots of sunglasses from me.
sunflower seeds, sunglasses.
Dude, they're just pulling things out of your bag. There was the one civilian, Afghan civilian that I took a photo of that I really like remember is the guy in all white. Did you ever meet that guy, the elder? He
I
was
don't,
like,
I don't
he
think so. I
made
don't.
like opium tobacco that he chewed.
Oh, they gave me some of that stuff to stick underneath your
Yeah,
tongue. That
yeah,
stuff cracked me up. I was like, don't give me this ever again.
yeah. No, 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 no.
I didn't know it was opium though.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
at
They put
first I
all
didn't.
kinds of stuff. You can't be doing that stuff, man. That's nuts. Well,
That's true.
they would take marijuana leaves, tobacco, put it together, and then I think they put opium in some of them and use it as a dip, right? And
Mhm.
I never dipped, and I don't smoke, so um, I never got into any of that stuff. But there was some old guy that followed our platoons everywhere and it had to be out of his mind, like just like smiling all the time. He would like climb up on a wall and like sit Indian style just to watch us and like wouldn't report, like he's just happy for us being there, and like he would come over
Yeah,
and like, try to talk to us, and we're like,
because
I'm
you
like,
remember the old days before the Taliban when it was the what they call the Moose High. We were actually buddies with them. I think.
yeah.
What was Jody's other question was, did you serve did you deploy or serve in any other countries?
I so before that I was on an air wing in Japan, so I got to live in Japan for 2 years.
Man, I wish.
Yeah, dude, it was pretty cool. Like I tell people like all the time, I'm so blessed for my Marine Corps experience because like I got to see the air wing. I think Korea was acting up at one point and like sank a South Korean sub, and I had to take photos of our jets
Oh
taking
wow.
off to send to like the news agencies.
Mhm.
And so like I got to see everything that the Marine Corps had. Um, and I, uh, I got lucky, man. I got so lucky. So I basically lived in Japan for 2 years, and from there I saw Thailand, Korea, a lot of Asia, and then that's probably as far as I would go. I never went to Iraq. I only did Afghanistan. I was actually about to get out when they attached me to 3-4. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah. So I was like, I think less than a year out from getting out, anyways. And they were like, "Hey, you're going to 3-4." I was like, "All right, it looks like I'm going out with a bang. Let's see what happens." I was like, "You bastards!" I was like,
Yeah,
"I've been
yeah.
wanting this for
Oh,
two
I'm sorry.
years.
Go ahead.
I've been wanting this my whole career, and now you're gonna send me when I'm getting out? Like, what's
Right
going
when
on?"
you get out.
So, but yeah. So I deployed to Afghanistan, Thailand, um, Korea, things like that.
Okay. Yeah, man, you definitely got some spots I want to go to. Definitely,
I got
I was
lucky.
with Korea, but I wanted Japan.
Japan was cool, man. Like I love those people. Those people are nuts. Like they're so professional with everything they do. I often say that it takes like four Japanese guys to install a light bulb, not because they need all four, but because they want that to be the best damn light bulb that's ever been
It's
screwed
perfect
in.
as possible.
They
Right.
want a perfect light bulb. Like they have a dude that holds the light bulb, they have a dude that holds the ladder, they have a dude that climbs the ladder and hands the light bulb to the guy that screws in the light bulb. Like they want to make sure that's the best light bulb. And I think that was a really eye opening experience for me. And I get to see the air wing, which like the Harriers and all that stuff. Like I got to deploy to a lot of Asia and work with other forces, so like Thailand and things like that. It's pretty cool.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Oh, and Teddy, your question. I'm not sure if you missed the beginning, but yeah, there was. Well, at least before I got blown up, there was two other IEDs that day that went off.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, so I went to go take a photo of. We heard there was an IED. They were going to try and set it off. They found it. It was a jug. It was just sitting there in a irrigation canal, and I went to go take the photos of it, and it went off. And so it blew up like 4 guys. I'm like sitting there like, this sucks. um, and then documented that whole situation. We didn't lose anybody. It was some minor injuries, shrapnel, things like that. A couple concussions. So we got pretty lucky. I want to say it was a dog handler that set it off too. We had these big bamboo sticks with the harvester on the end.
The one in front of me, they were filling across the other side of the ditch before we jumped across. And I mean, it did what it was supposed to do. They just happened to be a little bit too close to it. That's all.
He literally poked the jug. I was like, "What are you doing? Do not touch that. Like, that's the one thing you don't touch." We know, we can see it. It's right there.
I was about to say, if you can see it, but I'm just sitting there like, okay, got sand blasted on my face, but hey, what's new?
Oh, that's a good question, Teddy. I know for a fact we used propaganda.
So I guess, Teddy, do you, not calling you out, but do you understand what hearts and minds mean? Because, like, again, that was DC's major focus of it. It wasn't our focus. Our focus was each other, keeping each other safe. But DC wanted us to win hearts and minds. So propaganda definitely will be a part of it, whether it's negative or positive. But they want us over there winning the people over. But it's just, again, when you had people that's lived the same way since medieval times, damn near, just might have added some technology here and there. You're not changing how they live anytime soon.
No. I think one thing is, it's like, so whenever I took a photo, it was technically not my photo, right? So like, it shouldn't say photo taken by Corporal Chris Berg. It should say U.S. Marine photo.
Right.
That would be it. And so, like, it was funny. The Brits started buying out the compound, right? I think this was after you. And so we were sitting there, and I saw one of my photos on the front page of a British magazine, and it said 101st Airborne. And I was like,
wow, what?
Photo, like, literally 2 months ago, and that's what they labeled it as.
That's wow.
Because at the end of the day, it's open media. So like, what my job was to take the photo, send it to headquarters Marine Corps, and then Marine Corps would either release the photo or not. And sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. So one of my photos got on USA Today, and it was a random photo of the river. I got this really beautiful landscape photo of the river that we were at, and that ended up getting into USA Today. And so it was a random photo that ended up getting in on this website, and I was like, oh shit, like, that's pretty cool. So you never know, right? Like, you never know what somebody's going to use it as, and once it's released by the military, it's open. Getty Images can take it. Anybody can buy that photo, or just take it at that time.
Right.
And it could never say my name on it. So sometimes I'll just Google my name and see where my photos are and see if hopefully I got tagged in one of the photos, so.
I guess that's something I just never thought about. To your question, Dirty. I guess so modern days, technically, I guess you can still say yes. So the Marine Corps is technically the only military branch that the president, him or herself, can instantly say, hey, I want them to go here and do this. And we have, I think, what is it, like 2 weeks, I think, right, Chris? That we're doing whatever the president wants before Congress can step in and say, hey, you got to get a vote from Congress. But traditionally, though, Dirty, how it was supposed to be. Well, so we originally started out protecting the Navy, which I just never really thought about that part. I was like, I'm not sure how come the Navy didn't employ more people, but hey, it's whatever. It created us. But we started out protecting the Navy from pirates, Middle Eastern pirates. They call it the Burberry pirates, I think. That's how it started out. And then times like World War One, two, stuff like that. It's supposed to be the Marines land first. We're supposed to sweep through, fuck up everything in our path, and then the army's supposed to come in and occupy and hold
Correct.
that territory. That's how it's supposed to work. But it didn't work so much like that in Afghanistan. It worked that way in Iraq. It's just the Marine had to keep on going back. Like the Marines swept through, the army would take over, they would lose the area, and then the Marines will come back, help them take that area back, and then go back to where they were. If that answers your question.
Yeah, it's
technically supposed to be frontline. Yeah, technically.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it's all honestly, like, it's kind of objective. There's people, Larry and I are probably 1% of the Marine Corps. That saw combat on the basis that we saw it, right? And so, like, there's even people in the Marine Corps that aren't technically on the front lines, right? And it depends on what you see as the front lines. Like the way I think about it is like, are you getting shot at? Okay, and yeah, you're on the front lines. But you could even look at, like, I would say Camp Leatherneck was on the front lines as well some days, so
right. There's a lot of people there that's never seen combat.
Right. And there's a ton of people there that have never seen combat. But then I think it was after us, was it the air base got taken over or attacked?
And
wow. So like you even get that stuff, I think it's kind of subjective, really. Everybody kind of has their own opinion on that. Like, I'm sure Navy SEAL would say the front lines is what they do, which is president sends them somewhere and we don't know about it. And so, like, you could even look at it that way too.
Right. That's true. Yep, Dirty. Yep, definitely. Folks like Chris.
Yeah, and I think there was like 300 of us in the Marine Corps at the time that I was in.
Oh wow!
So there wasn't a lot, and everybody had a different trait. So like, I was a videographer by trait. I hated doing video work, so like, I didn't like editing. Like, I don't want to do that.
I was gonna ask you, was the editing?
It was a pain in the ass. Like, it was just, so like, photos. If you take a good photo, you have to take a good photo, and you don't have to edit it, right? And so, and there was more of a challenge of telling the story with one shot, one frame of 1 second of one moment in time that I just loved. I think that was really cool. So and that's how, and so absolutely that's how they get the photos, is that the photos and the video that come from the front lines will usually either be shot by a combat journalist, which is like Fox News sends a guy out there, or a Marine or sailor or airman that's already out there taking the photos. And then that has to go through a whole process, which is crazy. The archives are in Quantico, Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I think that's what Sunny said before she went to base. I think she said her dad was a photographer in the Air Force.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so that was carried over by the British. So the British also had British Royal Marines, which stayed on the ships and did all the fighting when people tried to board it.
Yeah, because I think what it was, Dirty. I think whoever the king was in whatever was like the main major Middle Eastern country way back when in 1775, I think, if I'm saying it right. Well, I hope I didn't get the dates wrong. Whoever that king was, he pretty much said it's open source on American ships. I think they had a deal with the British. I think. Am I telling the history right, Chris?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I can't go into that one.
Yeah, I think if I'm saying it right, they had a deal with the British. It was pretty much just mess up our morale. He told he told, I guess, the pirates that they had open reign. I mean, they were pirates. They pretty much, I'm guessing, is like if he didn't give them open reign on American ships, they would have still been attacking his people and his ships.
Yeah,
and then the Marine Corps was formed.
Yeah, Teddy, the archives are in Quantico. I think there's open source with that. You look at DVIDs, DVIDS. That used to be Defense Video, DVIDs. I will tell you that the Marine Corps lost a lot of my information. So like, yeah, it sucks. Like you're out there trying to tell a story, of guys doing great things, and you no longer have that photo unless you kept it, right? Which technically could get me in trouble. But
because it was Marine Corps property.
Secret, all that stuff. Maybe it wasn't released, or oftentimes it wouldn't get released because the guy releasing it was lazy. Like you look up a photo. I was like, I know I took this many photos. Where are all of them? And you got this shitty one, but you don't have this. Like, I don't think anybody can find that picture of Klein, even though that's one of the best photos I've ever taken in my life.
Yeah, I would love to see that, especially with the paintings behind them and stuff.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. I'll send you some clips here so you can attach it to the link.
That works.
Yeah. We got anything else? I told you I was trying to keep it under an hour. We did not do that.
It happened, man. It's fine. I mean, I love the conversation, anyways, man. Especially when it's kind of catching up at the same time.
Yeah.
But I guess nothing else for me. If no one else has anything else. Oh, wait. 70%. Okay. Thanks, Dirty. I appreciate that.
All right.
I'm supposed to remember that. I can't believe I didn't. Thank you, Daddy.
I appreciate you guys having me on and telling the story. Hopefully this helps some people, and not only just tells the story of Larry, but just like what Marines do on a daily basis. In the acts of heroism that they have, is pretty awesome. So hopefully that helped. And then maybe it sounds like it helped kind of teach what combat camera guys do, which is I think is special. So I appreciate all.
Think about some more things should be shined.
Yeah. So appreciate everything, guys.
Yeah, definitely, man. Appreciate you, Chris, man. Like always, man. It's great talking to you.
Yeah, we'll have to when I get to Virginia, man. We'll have to catch up. We'll bring it down to hand, and then we'll catch up, grab some beers or something.
That works for me, man. I remember you when I went up to St. Leo. You had introduced me to some type of special dry rub that chicken. I've never had that before. That was some of the most fire dry rub I ever had in my life.
Oh, it was Buffalo. Oh man, it was shit. Beef O'Brady's was the spot. That was the spot. That was a good wing spot.
Okay.
That was a good wing spot. So yeah, man, you come down to Virginia Beach. We'll take you out for dinner. Got you.
Good Same to you if you ever come up this way up north.
Oh, I will. I'm gonna be bouncing around. So, let's make sure that we connect, man.
Yeah, definitely. I'll try to catch some of your games too.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Like if you want to come see a game, or if you ever want to like chat and talk to the guys, and you want to do anything, man, you let me know.
Sounds good.
I appreciate it, Larry.
Appreciate you too, man.
I'll see you guys. If you guys need if you guys want to follow me on any social media or anything, it's at Coach Chris Burke for pretty much everything. Give me a follow and check out that journey. If you guys ever have any questions, let me know. So, Larry,
you want to text me any links right quick, and I can post it in the chat before I close off the studio?
Yeah. Here,
I'll just copy and paste it.
Let's see here.
Thank you, Dirty.
There we go. So it should be. What I'll do is I'll text it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, having some trouble connecting to the group chat here. So
I'll put it on my wall then on my YouTube wall. I'll just post them there.
Yeah, man. If you guys need anything, thank you for having me. Thank you for hearing the story, and I really appreciate it. And Larry, as always, man, I'm always here for you, man. So if you need anything, just simple phone call away, brother.
Appreciate that. Same to you.
All right, man. I'll see you later.
Peace out.
Thanks, everybody.
All righty. Thank y'all for coming and hanging out with us and listen to Chris and I talk about whatever. Run our mouths a little bit. Yeah, again, if y'all have any other questions for me, come up later on. Just hit me up. Have any questions for Chris? This is not hard to get it to him. Other than that, yeah, just thank y'all. Y'all have a good night. Keep on getting stronger. Keep on making your wallet grow, and whatever else I normally say. Oh, and always keep your head on a swivel. Watch around you. I appreciate y'all. Let me get these last few comments. I caught this one. Yeah, thanks, Godbody. I appreciate it. Thank you, Dirty. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Definitely to your son and nephew. Good luck to their future. I guess again, I feel like I might not be the best example. I might scare people, but you ever want me to tell them some ins and outs, some boot camp secrets? Because boot camp can be mentally challenging for some people, but the main thing is they got to remember whatever branch they're going into. They're drill instructors, drill, what's the army called? Drill sergeants, whatever it is, whatever branch. That's a act. It's real. They're training. They're training the recruits, but it's an act. That's not that person. A person is not some machine that just hates certain people and might look like that they favor certain people. And there's reasons why they do some things that they do. But anyways, anything like that. Anybody ever need me to talk to somebody, or maybe someone that didn't get blown up, like Chris or my boy I had on last week? Excuse me, Paris. Just let me know, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind. But y'all have a good evening. Appreciate y'all. Night.